Um, hey guys, how you doing? Joe here from the Scruffy fam. Hey, if you would, could you guys please like and subscribe and turn on those notifications to know when we have new content coming? We're doing about a video a week where we'll be talking about homesteading, autism, and some DIY stuff. Now, you guys may have noticed a little bit different flavor of our videos lately. We did take a little bit of a break. We had a whole bunch of stuff going on with our family, so we need to take some time and pause and kind of get that taken care of before we came back to the YouTube world. But hey, we're back and we'll be doing stuff. We've got a lot of things coming up on the horizon. We've got a lot of just life happening. So what I wanted to share with you guys is one of the big things is I am going back to school. Tasha is in school right now. She is doing pre-pharmacy. She is on the way to being a pharmacist, and so excited and so happy for her. All of her time in herbalism has really given her a passion to help people, and we're just continuing that with her going to pharmacy school. By her going to pharmacy school, it's going to give her more knowledge on how pharmaceuticals interact with herbs, and she's got a really cool plan and stuff for that, so we'll talk about that later with her. But you may have noticed that, oh, wow, that light really sucks. You guys may have noticed that we've done some hunting stuff lately. Now, if you are interested in homesteading or homesteading at all, that's something that is part of that process, is hunting. We are not a hunting channel, we are not a firearms channel or an archery channel. We are primarily homesteading, and we're working on an urban homestead right now. Now you may notice I sound really congested and stuff right now. I've been fighting a respiratory infection for the last week. That's why our last video was up a day late. And, so I apologize for that. But I want to tell you guys something that's going on with me. I am starting school the day after Christmas, and I am going to school to be a gunsmith. Now, some of you may be like, gunsmith, why? How does that work? Well, for me, I've always had a passion for firearms. I think they're really cool. They're neat. I like the functionality of them. I like what you can do with them. I like finding ones that are completely nasty and disgusting and cleaning them up and making them look like new again. It's something I like to do. I enjoy taking a firearm and seeing how far I can push it out and how accurate I can make it. Those excite me. I like doing that. I like when friends bring me their firearms and something's wrong and I can help them fix it. I like putting sights on and getting the sights really lined up so that anybody can pick up the rifle and plunk them down, they can shoot it, and they can be accurate. So those are a lot of things I like to do as like my hobby and personal time, and I've been doing that for years. It's not something that's new with me. My uncle, a long time ago, he's also a firearms aficionado, and he showed me how to take apart a pistol, and it was in 1911, and I will never forget. I still remember to this day how he did it, and I can still take one apart. And through the years, we've continued that type of relationship. And when I joined the military, I became fascinated with how to break down these firearms and put them back together and do it quickly. I was actually part of a competition team where they would put several different military weapons in a box, dump it out, and you have to put them together as quick as you could. And as a freshman in college, I was the fastest person. So, because I loved doing it so much. So, when I was in the military, I had a fairly large collection of firearms. As I came across a firearm that I liked or was fascinated with, I bought it. I could at the time. And I really, really just loved being able to take them and go out shooting. Some of my favorite memories in the military were with a 12 gauge shotgun. So I've got one here. So this is my shotgun. This is a Winchester SXP It's a 12 gauge. This is what I took to Kansas on that pheasant hunt. I harvested 4 pheasant with that thing, so it works for hunting too. But we would go shoot trap, skeet, 5-stand, and sporting clays. And I even remember going with my uncle a couple times to do sporting clays in Texas, and man, that is so much fun. It is so much fun. It was a blast. You just go out there with a little hand thrower, throw them, shoot it. And I had some really tight friendships just based around going and doing that. And I really enjoyed the shooting sport aspect of it. Unfortunately, as I was separating from the military, I got a divorce, and in that divorce, I had to sell my firearms for finances and other things. And so I had none. I had absolutely 0 firearms shortly after I got out of the military. And that was a very, very sad thing for me. Well, when I met my current wife, one of the first things I did when I was financially able was I went and bought an AR platform weapon. I bought this here is a Delton Sport Light. It's a very, very cheap entry level AR. I have since added some stuff. I put a Trinity Force handguard and a low profile gas block on it. Got a little cheapo red dot on there. I think it was a $20 or $25 red dot that I got on Amazon. And when she heard about this, she's like, oh yes, you definitely need to get a rifle. So I went and got that. And I got that in 5.56 so that I could shoot 5.56 ammo and 2.23 ammo out of it. And so I was so elated that I was able to get that. Because it gave me a chance to go to the range, it also let me hunt. So I was able to go out and shoot that several times. Very, very happy. And for years, that was the only thing I had. And then when I was in Arizona, we ran into some issues while I was doing some preaching in a park, part of the Christian Motorcycle Association, and I was a chaplain for my chapter, and we were doing a homeless worship service, and I got a couple death threats during that time. Not a big deal, but it was enough to make me say, maybe I should do something else. So I have a concealed carry permit, and I went and picked up a Shield M&P 40 that I have had. Oh geez, I think I've had that for 10 years now ish, 9-10. So I got that, and that is my carry weapon. And I carry that every once in a while still, but mostly it stays here at home for self-defense, or when I go hunting or something, I'll have that on me as opposed to just my rifle. And so I had the Shield and my AR were the only weapons I had for most of my marriage with Tasha. And in the last, and then a couple years ago, for Christmas, I got my boys the Daisy Red Ryder BB gun. The You'll Shoot Your Eye Out. Got that from my boys because I started shooting a pellet gun in the backyard when I was a little kid, and that's really where my shooting sports became infatuated. And so we had the BB gun, had the M4, had the Shield. We had those for many, many years. Many years. And I had spoken to my wife several times about my love of firearms, but I had built up quite a collection before that I had to sell off, and I was still kind of hurt by that, so I didn't want to replace anything. But my wife and I had talked, and I said, I'd really like to get a 22, and I'd like to get a shotgun, because I didn't have a shotgun. And so I'd say 2 years ago now, we were sitting at breakfast, and Tasha came downstairs. She's like, hey, we're gonna go pick up your 22. And I'm like, what? And so we went to our local gun shop here. I got this Ruger 1022. Got the iron sights on it. I just put this Weaver rail on today because I'll tell you guys why in a little bit. But went and picked that up. And I went, wow, cool. I had this little 22. And then COVID happened and couldn't go shoot because everything was closed. But I've since been able to go out and shoot that, and that's just fun. It's a fun little plinking thing, and it's something that's great to get my kids in as well. Yeah, great for plinking for the kids, and just happy to have that as like a next step for them. Well, then it was last year, but yeah, it was a year ago for Christmas. My wife bought me my shotgun. So the Winchester I showed you guys, that was my Christmas present. So now I had the Shield, the M4, the 22, and the BB gun. I'm like, this is sweet. I now have everything I need for hunting. I thought, this year I was checking the regulations on the state we live in on how long of a barrel you have to have for hunting. Turns out that my barrel on my M4 is not long enough to be considered a hunting rifle. And I went, oh no. So I was talking to my father-in-law, and he surprised the dickens out of me. I was not expecting this. He surprised me. He sent me the money and said, go pick up a hunting rifle. So I went and bought a Winchester XPR in 308, and it came with the Vortex scope on it. So I got the Vortex scope combo one, and I got it in 308 because I know 308 shoots well. It's a really good all around, like if you're gonna have one hunting rifle, 308 is probably the way to go. And man, do I like shooting that. It is a lot of fun to shoot. It shoots really well. It's great. And so now here I am. I've got my bolt action hunting rifle, my M4, my shotgun, my 22, my pellet gun, and my pistol. I'm thinking, okay, I'm legit set. Well, talking with my wife, one of the things that we really enjoyed was when we would be able to go shoot archery together, and I really wanted to introduce her to the shooting sports. I want to get her into hunting. She wants to hunt, but we've got a lot of little kids, so, you know, logistics. But I want to get the fundamentals of shooting in with her now so that later she can. So I had already been saving up to get her something, so I went and got her a Ruger American in 243. Got a little bipod on there. I've got a bipod for my 308, but I took that out hunting, so I didn't have the bipod on there because I was in a tree stand. But so I got her the Ruger American in 243. So now I went from having the M4 in the sidearm to M4 sidearm, pellet gun, 22, 12 gauge, 308, 243. And I legit thought, I'm done. That's great. We've got things for everybody. Well, then I was having a conversation with my uncle, and we talked about different things we would hunt and what I was confident and comfortable with. And then we got in this conversation of big game hunting, like elk and larger. And do you feel confident using your 308 to hunt elk and larger? Now I will tell you, within 300 yards, I have no problem shooting an elk. Probably even in 400 yards, I would shoot an elk with my 308, depending on the grain edge and everything else. And through that conversation, he said, well, I've got an old Ruger M77 in 338 Win Mag that I'm not using. It's sitting in my safe. I haven't fired in a long time. I've got a 35 Wellin. I've got a 375 H&H. It just seems a little redundant to have a 338 Win Mag. So if you want it, I'll sell it to you. And so talking with Tasha and talking with him, I agreed to buy it from him. So I went and picked it up from him over the Thanksgiving weekend. And this is the Ruger M77 original Tang safety. This thing was produced in 1979. I was born in 1978. So that is awesome. And it's in 338 Win Mag, which that is a thumper. And it's also known as like the Elk cartridge. So I am really excited for that. And it's giving me a chance to practice gunsmithing. And so on the day after Christmas, I start the gunsmithing school. And what excites me is when I got this rifle from my uncle, it was painted camouflage. It had a camouflage Macmillan stock on it, but it wasn't bedded right, it wasn't seated right. So he actually had the original maple stock. So I put that back on, I cleaned it up, took all the paint off of it. It is a gorgeous rifle. While doing that, I was so excited, cleaning it, fixing it, finding out what was wrong, getting it together. And then I started doing tweaks to all the other rifles, and enough to drive my wife crazy. And the reason for that is it's a passion that I have of mine. So I'm going to gunsmithing school, and I'm going to go through that process, see what it's all about, and just continue to build off of that excitement that I've already got for firearms. I thought I'd give you guys an update, kind of tell you why the flavors changed a little bit and what's going on. Give you a little tour of my firearms and share some of my passion and excitement with you. Hope you guys felt that through this video. And like I said, please like, subscribe, and we will talk to you guys next time.